All right, let's get going here. I have Johnny Big Air Moseley. How is the air these days, Johnny? Is it still big, or are we looking at medium air?
It's it's uh it's
Small air.
poquito. It's poquito. Yeah, I hate to say it, I've got shrinkage, major shrinkage.
And that's okay. That's not a problem. It happens with
It's-
age.
thanks for making me feel better about that.
Comes for
Yeah,
us all. I would say at this point, you and I are close personal friends. We spent some time together here in Bozeman. I hope you enjoyed your recent trip to Montana. Do you like coming here?
I did. I was really I just fell in love with that place. It's just such a cool little town, and just to be able to I stayed like right off of Main Street too, so it was all Christmassy, and
That's the
everyone
way
was
to
in
do it.
town for the graduation or whatever for the Montana. I was like, "Whoa, this place is going off!"
You got to
And
see our Christmas spiders on the
yeah,
walk on Main Street.
those do kind of look like spiders, don't they?
That's what
Yeah,
people call them.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
you have worn a lot of hats over your career. You've been Olympic gold medalist, creator of the dinner roll trick, commentator, narrator, husband, father. The list goes on. Which hat are you most proud of, and are you exhausted?
Yeah, no, it's a good way to put it. It's like when people ask me what I do, I'm like, "You're going to need to sit down. You want the long version because it's about 45 different things."
Hmm.
Um,
Did I
and
leave anything out? Any other
no,
important roles?
I blacked out. I can't remember you after number three. Yeah, no, not to sound cliche, but pulling the trigger on having a family was definitely like the hat that I'm most proud that I didn't get too scared of, because everyone tells you like don't like it's like a big step. You got to if you overthink it, it's not going to happen. So that was and just like my buddy JT Holmes, you may have met. He comes in and out of town. He's a peak skis guy,
I've
but
heard of JT, and I saw him on the Warren Miller movie.
oh, cool. Yeah, he just had a baby, and so I just like, dude, enjoy. It's the best thing ever. But until you do it, you're like, wow, that looks crazy. So that hat's great, dad hat. Even though you know, it's definitely the most challenging hat. It's definitely the most rewarding. That one's good.
All right, I think that's the
Yeah.
right answer for you, even though you
Well,
probably
yeah, no,
Olympic
that's what you're
gold
gonna say.
medalist.
You're gonna be like, "Oh, he's just giving us the right answer." But I was trying to dig deeper than that. But
No, I
that's
think that's
that's
what you
it.
got to say.
Yeah.
You have skied so many hills. Is there anything out there that you still want to hit, or have you gotten to all of them?
Oh, not even. I mean, I haven't even scratched the surface. I feel like, and particularly, I um, because considering I was a professional skier and a World Cup freestyler and all that stuff, I went to all these places, especially in Europe, as a competitor. But I didn't really, you don't really ski them. You kind of like you do your thing to get ready to compete. And you go to the course, and then you ski, and then you go to the gym or whatever. And so you have a good time, and you see some stuff. But I need to go back and like explore Europe as a casual skier, like for
You're
fun.
not skiing them for fun.
Yeah, I want to go do that, and
Okay.
and just like casual ski. So like all those resorts. Uh, I mean, until I've skied most of. I still haven't been up Lone Peak at Big Sky yet. I
Oh,
did
come
ski.
on.
It was a tough. I'd never been in that area. By the way, this most recent trip was my second time to town, but I
Okay.
really had never been to Bozeman, because my first time was I went to Yellowstone. I had some buddies that have a place up there, and we went up there as a family, and I was all excited. It was actually like ski vacay, right? I pretty much work all winter as a skier, so I don't get like a lot of just like you know what feels like a ski vacay. Don't
Free
don't feel
ski
sorry
days.
for me. It's fun. Yeah, a ski day where you're just like relaxed, and if I want to take two runs and don't talk to anyone, and then go have a beer and then fall asleep in the afternoon, like that's like a ski vacay, right?
That's
Um,
every ski day of mine. That's what you just described.
exactly. So I
So
get
that's
up
what you
there.
mean.
So I was like, that was my first time, and we get in there, and I'm all fired up. And my kid, I think my kids were like, I don't know, 11 and 7 at that time, or 7, 11, 8. And we get out, and it's snowing, and we get out on the hill, and it's like kind of a pow day at Yellowstone. And we take that like little bump chair that gets you to the top, the heated one, the Gucci one, and then you take the little bumper, the slow two-seater. And first run, we're skiing down. It's like pow, it's great. My son, I follow my son off this. I don't know. It's like a 5. It's probably a 10-footer to flat. I stop, punch front over my skis, and I just tore the crap out of. I thought I finally, after my whole ski career, never had a knee problem. I finally destroyed my knee. I was like, that's it. That's the one. Thank God it didn't happen right before the Olympics. I'll take it. Thank you, God. And it just, I think, just exploded. Like, it was hot and swelling. And anyway, I was so bummed because it was like the first day of ski vacay, and I'm like just willing it not to be. And so, of course, we go to the lodge. I limp into lunch, I have some drinks, and I'm like, oh man, I got to get this thing checked out. So we go to the infirmary. Blah blah blah. They check it out. They like move it around. It's stable. It's fine. I'm just hurt. It's like something's pulled. So I skied the rest of the trip on one foot, which I have done before.
Oh, wow.
That's a separate story. I had precedent. I was like, I can do this, including I went up and skied those chutes like on one foot. One time, I digress. One time I had the other time I did that, I was all psyched. I went to a heli ski trip. It was kind of like a boondoggle trip with a guy and his clients and stuff like that. I walk into the bar at Mike Wigley's, and there's a group that's all fired up. Like, we just got off the plane, right? We're afternoon. We're going to ski the next day. These guys are super fired up that they just had their great week of heli skiing, and they're drinking. And of course, I walk in and they, buying me shots. I'm like, oh, geez. The next thing you know, what this guy wants to do, he does a standing backflip in the bar. And of course, they all look at me like, Moseley, are you going to represent our side? And I'm like, yeah, of course.
Next.
So I'm like, I huck standing backflip in the bar, but I gave it so much juice that I like landed stiff-legged, and I punched. I like just hit my heel really hard and bruised the Jesus out of my heel. And so then I had to take but I was heli skiing, first day of heli skiing, so I could literally not stand on my heel. So I took so much ibuprofen that then I got sick from ibuprofen poisoning. Whatever you have to get, take the antidote. Anyway, so I digress. My experience with skiing on one leg is deep, but long story short is I stayed an extra day because I wanted to ski Big Sky so bad, and I sent my family home, and I went over to Big Sky, and I skied it on one leg, and it was fabulous. But it was foggy on top of Lone Peak, and I was like, I can't go up there on one leg. I don't even know. I'm alone. I don't even know where to go. I'm going to ski that on one foot. So I need to come back and ski that. Jesus, what was the question again? Oh, places I want to ski.
We can put together a committee to take you back to Big Sky, right, I'm sure.
I'll come back up. Yeah.
Listen, if you're going to do your knee somewhere, I think it should be Yellowstone Club, because they'll take care of you. You get a massage and they'll pack it in caviar. You'll be in good shape.
Yeah. That's true.
Speaking of fun skiing, let's say you're at the top of a mountain and you have to choose between a pristine flat run and one with moguls. Which one are you taking?
Oh, I'm taking the moguls. It's not in this. Once again, that's one of those answers where, I guess now probably I'm more 50-50, and where I might have used to have been 80-20, but I guess it depends who's watching.
I like that. That's a good answer. You need an audience if you're going to show off the moguls. All right.
And then who I'm with. If the person I'm with is a better skier on the flats, I'm going to have to pull them towards the moguls.
Okay.
Just because.
That's where you excel. I get
but
it.
I will give you a recent story about moguls. I have a 10-year-old nephew, and he just stopped racing, and he now joined the freestyle team out here in Squaw.
Okay.
Excuse me, Palisades, Tahoe. And I was skiing with him yesterday morning, and we were riding up the chairlift, and we only have there's really a couple, chairlifts over. There's not a mogul hills right here, but there's one run that's usually groomed that has a bunch of moguls on it. And he looks over, he's like, Johnny, those are the best bumps on the mountain right now. And I was like, Yeah, they do. Let's go ski that. He's like, yeah, I don't understand why people don't like moguls. They're so fun. And so I was like, man, I love you. Let's go do that. You're right. Because when I was his age, man, I love bumps. Like just the feeling of that weightlessness and trying to ski a zipper line and get it just right,
Hmm.
and doing it
I
again.
disagree. You're both maniacs.
Yeah, I know. That's what he was referencing people like you, people who hate the bumps.
That's right. All right, let's talk about all time. This is the 74th annual, right? Warren Miller ski film, which is nuts.
Yeah.
It's a retrospective, right?
Yeah, I think that's a good way to put it. It is basically a compilation of all his like kind of greatest hits, but sort of recut. And I mean, there's a lot to choose from. They sort of organized it around eras, but it's a little looser than that. Like it's sort of you know. I liked how they didn't do it perfectly linear. Like they didn't start with one era and just run you through History Channel style. They kind of like
Right.
jumped around and mixed it up. And frankly, I mean, we make some cool new footage at Warren Miller Entertainment, but honestly, the stuff that's already in the can is it's the best. It just evokes that feeling, and so I've been enjoying the year of looking back. But we'll get back to making new films in the end.
Okay. Yeah.
Next
and
year. Next year.
I enjoyed it. I watched it the other night with you, and I did like the way that it kind of jumped around, like you said. I thought it just kept things moving. It was really entertaining. There's like multiple compilations of painful wipeouts. Are we sure that those folks are okay? Am I just watching people die? What have we checked on them?
You were great, by the way. I'm assuming that most of your audience is not ski audience, considering your illustrious career. Which, just for the audience, when he rolled up, so just so you guys know, like Warren Miller Entertainment stuff, the shows go is they tour mainly big cities first, like big city. I say Salt Lake, New York, San Francisco, stuff like that.
Not Bozeman.
No, they don't go to Bozeman right away. You get these big chunks, right? And you have a live narrator. We try to, Warren Miller used to narrate himself, but now we kind of have like a local, a guy, not a guy who tours with the show. And he goes up there and gets the audience going, and then gives away stuff, and they do raffles. This has kind of been the tradition for years. But when the show goes to what we call independent promoters, when the show goes to what we call sort of independent promoters, so not put on by Warren Miller Entertainment, but to smaller towns where you have like for example in Bozeman, the Peak Skis guys put it on. So people are in this industry who kind of like help promote the movie. They usually have like a local MC, and then they use like a video MC to kind of carry the show in case they go to such a remote location that you don't even have a local MC. So it gives you the opportunity for small towns to carry the film if they want to. So I met Joe in the lobby, and they're like, "You got this MC here," and I'm like, "This is going to be interesting. Like, is he doing the whole show? Here we go." So I'm in. I meet him in there, and he's like, he had printed out like the manifest or whatever, the script, and it's like 15 pages, and he's got it just printed out, no notes on it. I'm like, oh God, this is going to be insane. Like, who is this guy? I don't recognize him from the ski industry. And so I'm like, oh, I got to get a handle on this. So I'm walking him through. I'm like, okay, so this is what's normally going to happen. And then this you don't need to worry about. And then this is going to happen. And so then we have this all hands meeting, and I'm sitting in there and talking to Joe, and the show's about to start. And I'm started asking him questions. He's like, oh yeah, I used to write for Tosh.0 and 300 episodes. I was like, oh my God, I was so embarrassed. Like, I'm like, holy crap, this guy's like a pro. Because I love Tosh.0, by the way. It was like one of my favorite shows ever. He like
Speaks
alluded.
poorly of you.
Well, he sort of was. I don't know if he was a surfer or a skater, or if he just kind of had that. He sort of he recognized that kind of like that genre a little bit and brought it into he had that kind of snarky punk vibe. Anyway, I loved his comedy. So anyway, I was super embarrassed, and then you went up there and absolutely crushed it. You like hit all the segues, and you just read the crowd. I was like, well, of course, he's a freaking entertainment professional. So anyway, thank you, and back to the question at hand.
It was a fun night.
You did a great job.
I wanted to make sure that all the people who we saw fall in the video are okay.
Oh yeah,
That was the
That video, those crashes were cringy in some ways. Some of those
There are
were
some rough
really,
ones.
yeah, yeah. Well, and probably what Warren Miller Entertainment would say was, those aren't even the ones that. I mean, they've got a vault full of people. People die. There's been people that have died.
Oh my
So
god. Okay.
it's. I mean, I haven't heard that. I can't verify that, but in the years of filming ski movies, it happens.
All
So
right. I
they were
like
probably
hearing
like,
about dark
so
Warren.
yeah, they were probably like, these are the ones that lived, you know.
All right. How can people see this? We're talking about it so much. If folks want to watch the Warren Miller movie, what can they do?
Funny you mention it. So I have it pulled up. The quickest way is to go to Warren Miller Entertainment. So Warren Miller and ENT. The reason I'm telling you that is because if you just go to warrenmiller.com, that's a different website and it won't lead you anywhere. You got to go Warren Miller Entertainment, and you'll have a list of shows. And it's getting skinny. I see there's one happening in Telluride. You can kind of type in your zip and see where the shows are. There's a bunch of kind of smaller shows that are sort of happening. And then I think really soon, it might be within the next day or two, it's going to be on Outside Plus. So you can go
That's
to
a
Outside.
streaming service.
Thank you. Yes, that's a streaming service, and you have to
Okay.
sign up for the streaming service. And it's great content. It's all outside. You remember Outside Magazine, so it's all outdoor content. But you'd have to sign up for Outside Plus, and then you'll be able to stream the movie for all your loved ones at home during the holidays.
I'm sure we'll arrange for some sort of bundle. If you want to get Hoary Marmot and Outside Plus, I'll make sure that there's a discount there. That was the 74th. What's in store for the next one, the big 7.5? Are you allowed to talk about it?
It's top secret. Actually, I
Oh,
don't know.
okay.
I don't know. I mean, we
No idea.
we are going. We are shooting. We are going to shoot original content. We did shoot some original content for this film, mainly the Donnie Peltier,
Donnie
Maine's
business.
finest skier, Maine's finest skier. Our attempt at comedy, Joe. Our skit. Our back
It
and forth
was
skit.
it was entertaining. His ski
Okay.
style is very unique.
Okay. Nothing. What about the writing? I mean, I came up with good. Him versus. Did you get the concept of him being like getting more compliments than me? And then
Yes.
I
so
had to
then
go.
you had to imitate him and basically try to one up him on his own style.
Okay, good. At least you got the concept.
It was
I-
good. Yes.
I'm
of course,
sure
I
what
have
you're
notes.
thinking. I'm sure. Yes, exactly.
We'll save
Okay.
that for next year.
For
I'll
next
help
year.
you out.
I'm going to get you in early on the process. Yeah, no, I think we will be going back to sort of shooting more, current content. Look, the what is it? The original thesis of the Warren Miller movie is to sort of capture what a season holds. So, it's hard to say what a season's going to hold because you'd be surprised at how on the fly we shoot. So, and you also have to shoot snow conditions, right? So you might have this grand plan to go shoot in some place, and you're super psyched and you got all your resources aimed at it, and there's no snow. So
Yeah.
then you've got to like reform the whole thing. So in some ways, we like to keep our options open.
Okay. That's when you break out the wingsuit, do some
Well-
base jumping.
That's always in there somewhere.
How long have you been the voice of Warren Miller? I mean, it's a few years now, right? Is it all a blur, or there's some memories in there that stand out?
Yeah, I think it's 12. I don't know.
12,
I'm taking a
okay.
stab at it. 12 years. Well, yeah. I mean, I guess it's gotten less cringy for me. Like I can actually sit in the theater and listen to it, my own voice. I mean, the early on when I first took over when they basically were like, "Hey, we want you to voice the film." I was a little bit because I was a Warren Miller fan. Like I grew up going to the movies from when I was a little kid. I always dreamed of being in them. Never thought I'd actually ever be in them. And then when I was asked to be in it, that was an amazing moment. And then,
Yeah.
then I skied in a bunch of them. Then to be asked to actually voice it was simultaneously exciting and then also terrifying. And then I also started to have a moment of like, I'm going to ruin the Warren Miller movies for everybody. And it's going to be on my hands. And they were like, no, you got to come do it. And so I was like, all right, let's go. Let's read a couple pages and test it and see how it goes. And they're like, nope, it's too late for that. We're going in. So I fly out to the Boulder offices, and I'm in the studio. And, you've been in a sound studio. Like, I'm in the glass box, and they're all in the production room. And there's like 15 people in there, producers, directors, people I've never met, from all walks of the company. And I'm reading these lines, and you can just sort of like feel the dismay.
They're
It's
just
just like
judging you like crazy.
you're just like, this doesn't feel like it's going well. You can see them talking, but you can't hear what they're saying. They're it's really, if you've ever done audio stuff, it's they do that. They won't let you hear what they're saying because they want to talk crap about you, and they honestly, and you're like, what are they saying about me? It's like the ultimate torture for someone that's insecure.
No,
So
you're in the fishbowl. I think that's what they call it.
Yeah, that's what it's called. Okay, I didn't know
Mhm.
that. Yeah. And so then I hear some silence, and then like I hear the door open to the studio, and in comes like a 6-pack of beer, and they're like, "Try this." So then from there on, it's been smooth sailing. So I just need to
loosen you up.
loosen up a little bit, loosen
All
up.
right.
Yeah. So no, it's a great honor. I love carrying the mantle. I think Warren Miller, he's probably the most important figure in skiing. I like, as far as it's, I don't know if you've read his autobiography. It's incredible. It takes a little bit to get into it because he writes it himself. Hence autobiography. And that's was that mansplaining?
No, you're good.
Okay. So
I'll add it to my Audible.
but yeah, exactly. There you go. Once you get going, it's incredible. And it kind of corroborates what a lot of people said, but he was involved in so many facets of the ski industry at an early stage, right? Both personally, his own story of being a ski bum and, creating shoe laces for boots, to learning how to film and starting out here in Squaw, and then all the way till his resting place in Montana, which he helped sort of, he would advise ski resort owners and all these guys on. I mean, he touched so many parts of the industry, and then was also probably the biggest promoter of the industry to help grow the industry, just because he was basically putting these places on film and putting different walks of life and different walks of skiing on film. So he is an important figure, and so I mean, it's pretty cool to be involved still in the to sort of like have some small piece of that.
Well, you do a good job. He's certainly a legend in the Big Sky and Bozeman areas. So uh, you're helping to carry on that legacy a little bit, which is great.
Yeah.
Can we talk about the challenge?
Oh,
Are you
I thought
comfortable with
I thought
that?
you were wrapping it up. That was
We're getting close, but
Oh,
I just,
okay.
it's one of my guilty pleasures. Do you still watch it, or did you just wash your hands of it once they downgraded to TJ as a
I can't
host?
I can't get away from it. It's like on network TV now. It's no. I'm not. I can't say like I'm an avid you know consumer of it.
Okay.
I don't line up to watch it. I do follow some of those guys on Twitter and keep tabs.
Do
But
you have
yeah,
an all-time
no.
favorite contestant? Are you a CT guy or
Well,
Johnny
yeah, CT. I
Bananas?
mean, you got to respect CT for his performance ability. I mean, the guy's a savage. I mean, he's
Yeah.
just like, not only. I mean, he's the challenge is interesting because at first, I remember when I first got called for that show, I was sort of dismissive of it because the real world made me cringe. Like I was like, I could barely watch that. These people are so irrational. What is this? But my wife was a big fan, of course, and she was like, "Dude, you crazy? You're crazy. You have to do this."
You can't say no. Come on.
No, and plus they're like, "Hey, 6 weeks in Jamaica, you bring your girlfriend, who was my wife, and I
That seems
just
like a cake
it was
a cake gig as a host.
totally. I just finished the O2 Olympics too. I was done. I was like I was kind of like, what am I going to do with my life? I'm done skiing.
Just
So it was
bored.
perfect timing. Yeah. So I really enjoyed it. It totally launched me into that figure. I mean, Puck was on the show when I first started. I mean,
Oh man. Okay.
so yeah, we had a great time. I'm trying to think of other characters. I saw the Miz recently, actually.
Oh, okay.
I saw him at
Yeah.
a concert out in Bottle Rock out in Napa. It was kind of funny to see him and his wrestler wife, girlfriend, and really nice guy. Just
His
trying to,
career took a turn.
yeah, totally, yeah. I mean, all those guys are everywhere. It's Theo Vaughn. He was probably fun. I liked Theo a lot.
I worked with Theo on a Comedy
Okay.
Central show. I enjoyed that. But
Yeah.
I'm a Zach guy. I just think he's a beautiful man. Okay?
Which one's Zach? I don't
Zach
even know. Who
had the
Zach
long
is.
hair. He looked like Thor.
Oh,
Just statuesque. Whatever.
Yeah.
All right, we'll move on.
Yeah. There you go.
I'll take us out with this. On behalf of the comedy community, I just want to apologize for the position Letterman put you in 1998, making you ski down not snow in New York City and then land on not snow. You could have hurt yourself really badly doing that. So I'm sorry.
This is for you, Dave.
Busted up there?
Oh, I'm waiting.
Oh, but here is Jonny. Moseley. 1998 Olympic gold medal winner. Thank you very much.
Thanks.